Hey guys, what's up? As you can see, a little bit of a different framing today, a little bit of a different video. This is something that I had been planning for, well, a very long time would be underestimated. This is something that I've been asking you guys about since I think 3/4 of a year ago. I am a master procrastinator. Today we're building a PC. Graphics cards are super hard to come by nowadays. I mean, I bet anybody that has looked for one has realized that. The thing is, nowadays, PCs, gaming PCs, are not that difficult to build without a GPU, and for a decent price as well. So that's exactly what we're doing today, as well as a bunch of other gaming PC builds I have recorded in the background. Today we're building a budget gaming PC without a GPU that will be able to run your games pretty damn well. As usual, in case you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to smack that little subscribe button down below. And let's get right into it. So I think it's fair to say, I have not recorded a video like this in quite some time, but either way, I'm going to do my very best to kind of do the very best on this one. I think we're gonna go for half commentary and half not. Either way, when you're building a PC, you normally want to start off with taking the case out. So that's exactly what we did here.
And grand reveal. It's gonna be so... I've hit the camera. It's now shaking.
Oh, wow.
It's so cute. It's so adorable.
Later on, you want to take out your motherboard.
Look how tiny the motherboard is. Look at this.
Normally, what you'd want to do is you'd want to build up your motherboard on top of the motherboard box and test it out by shorting the pins, or at least that's what you used to do a few years back.
It's so tiny.
Either way, we didn't go for any of that because I was pretty confident and sure that this PC was going to post. What you want to do is you want to take your motherboard and all of its accessories out of the box. You know, be careful not to touch any places where you might short it in case you have any static electricity on you, and don't do anything too stupid, you know, like building on top of a carpet, even though, as we have found out, that doesn't really make that much of a difference. So take your I/O plate in case your motherboard comes with one. Nowadays, a lot of motherboards actually have those built in, but this one actually didn't. So what you want to do is you want to slap that thing into the back of your PC case, make sure it's in there nice and snug. Now, a few cases might not have all the standoffs in. The standoffs are the little screws at the bottom of the case, and they hold your motherboard just above the PC case, you know, so that it doesn't short anything from the bottom. Now, again, some cases actually have all of those pre-installed. This one did, my current one did, but some cases actually don't. So you'll have to use a little tool and screw those in yourself. So do make sure of that. Do make sure that all the standoffs line up with all the holes for the screws inside your motherboard. After you've made sure of that, slide in your motherboard, make sure it lines up with the I/O plate, and put in all of your screws. Sometimes you won't know which ones exactly you're supposed to put in. I had actually a few problems with this. It's been a while since I've built a PC, but they are normally the only ones that don't continuously screw in, you know, like they actually finish screwing in. Plus, if you actually bother reading the instruction manual, well, that shouldn't be an issue. Now, I know that there's a bunch of different orders you can do this in, but this is the order I did this in, so stick with me. Next thing, what you want to do is put in your CPU.
The camera is freaking shaking or hardcore right now.
So in case you're doing this with an AMD CPU, you want to take extra care because these things have little pins at the bottom, as you can probably tell. They are incredibly delicate, and if you bend one of them, well, you're going to need to bend them back, and that can sometimes be not a lot of fun. So do be careful. There's a little triangle on each and every AMD CPU. As you can see on this one, it's right down there. What you want to do is you want to line that up with the triangle on your motherboard. Yes, your motherboard socket does also have one of these triangles. So once you've found the triangle on top of your socket, lift up the lever on your socket and put your CPU in, matching those two triangles up. Put the lever back down and it should snap into place. Don't force anything, double make sure that everything is correct, and that's that. In case you're building an Intel system, well, it's a little bit easier simply because Intel doesn't have those pins. Those pins are on the motherboard on LGA sockets. So what you want to do there is just slap the CPU on top of the socket, making sure everything lines up. So that's the CPU in. Next thing you want to do is you want to slide in your power supply. Pretty damn simple there, nothing too hardcore. Normally in cases nowadays, those go in at the bottom. I still remember when they used to go in at the top. So what you're going to want to do is open up the back panel and slide in that power supply and screw it in. They normally take 4 screws. Now, if you're using a modular power supply, now would be a good time to plug in all the cables that you might actually want to use. I always use modular power supplies because the other ones just annoy the living hell out of me. I have to work with all those cables, hide them, and especially with mini ITX cases, those can be a serious pain. So you can start routing all your cables. You're going to want to plug in the 24-pin for the motherboard power, the 8-pin for your CPU power, unless it's a 4-pin, because sometimes motherboards nowadays can also do a 4-pin, and then plug in all your SATA connections into your hard drives, and that's pretty much it. Since we're not using a graphics card in today's build, well, you don't need to worry about plugging the power into that. Next thing that I did is I shoved in my M.2 SSD. Now, I recommend M.2 NVMe SSDs for everyone nowadays. They just boot up really nice and fast, and they are a great alternative to SATA SSDs. If you're using a hard drive to boot your PC in 2021, I do apologize. When I first saw the boost from hard drive to SSD, I was like mind blown. So install your M.2 SSD in case you have one. In case you don't, plug in all your SATA cables just like you normally would with any other hard drives into your SATA SSD or your hard drive, depending on what you use, what anyone likes, and install your fan on top of your CPU. Now, in case you're using the stock fan that comes with the CPU, the screws might actually sound like they really want to damage the CPU underneath. This is quite normal, actually, and I talked about this with Bailey while we were building the PC. It's quite painful to listen to, but don't worry, this is normal. You just need to put a little bit more pressure on it, not too much pressure, but just don't worry when you hear that scratching sound. It's normal. Just make sure you're not actually scratching your motherboard and that the screw is going in to the backplate. Next thing you want to do is put in your RAM. Now, it's very important to check where exactly you need to put in your RAM on your motherboard, because it can be different on every motherboard. They're normally labeled on the motherboard with DIMM slot 1, DIMM slot 2, or A and B, and that'll tell you depending on whether you have 4 slots to put in your RAM, or 2. In case you have 2 sticks of RAM and 4 slots to put in RAM on your motherboard, well, then you should consult your manual. Once you're done that, it's time to plug in all the nitty-gritty, tiny little annoying connectors, like the power button, the audio, the USB, and all the other little ones that are going to be really annoying for you to find out which way they go. But thankfully, nowadays, motherboards have actually simplified that quite a little bit. So once you've done that, make sure everything is connected really well on your motherboard, and you're pretty much ready to test the PC out.
It's not booting. Oh, dude, look at the computer.
Would you like to turn on your computer without your RAM?
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Elgato just crashed, so I'm assuming that means it works. Celebrate with me. Look at this.
I'm jumping. Hey, pretend I'm jumping right now. Now, once we were done building the PC, we had to update the BIOS. This is something you normally don't have to do with no motherboards, as they come pre-installed with the latest BIOS for you to be able to install the latest CPU in them. Unfortunately, we bought a used motherboard, and therefore we had to update the BIOS by first using a 2600X, and later on putting the 5600G in there. However, once we were done doing that, we were ready to install Windows 11. Yes, we went with Windows 11 since I really love it, and it is incredibly stable for me. Once we installed Windows 11, we got into the nitty-gritty, set up a nice beautiful profile picture, and later on worked on installing some software. We also enabled PBO with the help of Bailey to give the CPU that little bit of an overclock with both its GPU and its CPU. PBO does this automatically to the limits of the motherboard, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a feature I never got to play around with. This was my very first time, and I was quite impressed. So after that, we ran the fuzzy donut of death, and once we were happy with the PC, it was ready and off to go to my cousin. That's pretty much it. I know, this was a pretty weird video. I don't actually know whether I should call this a tutorial or just a build log. I honestly have no clue, since if this is a tutorial, it was an incredibly not in-depth and really quick one. If I want to make a proper tutorial, we'll have to do that in a different video. Unfortunately, I did not get to test too many games on this. I got to test The Witcher, The Forest, and I think Roblox, since that's the game he wants to play the most. He doesn't know about this, by the way. This is a Christmas gift, so don't you guys spoil it. But other than that, I was incredibly satisfied. We were able to play The Witcher on 1080p low, and it was perfectly playable, like above 30 FPS playable. This is without a GPU, remember that.
Damn, oh damn, am I impressed by today's APUs. Like, it's been a while since I've actually used an APU, and this is impressive.
These APU chips nowadays are incredibly powerful, and for those of you watching, because I know you are, you would probably be able to pull some pretty decent VR out of it. Sure, on low graphics, but we will need to test that out someday. I might buy a chip just to test that out. But yeah, either way, that is going to be it for today's video. It was a little bit of a different one, but I felt like I needed this. Again, I had promised you guys this for the longest time. I had done polls, I had done questions, I asked you guys whether you want tech videos back on the channel. For those of you that don't know, this channel actually started off as being tech and then rolled into being VR, since that's what everyone wanted. But the thing is, I'm still incredibly passionate about tech, and it opens up avenues and allows me to venture into things that are different than recording videos about the Quest constantly. Overall, everybody seemed pretty positively set for me starting to record tech videos, but I would love to hear your opinion down below. If we were to record 1 or 2 tech videos every week, as well as, of course, doing the standard old VR videos, what would you guys think? I mean, I certainly enjoyed this one. Again, I'm not entirely sure about the format yet. As you can probably tell, I'm trying to figure that out, but we will do that as we go. I have no clue how many views this video gets, and of course, that is always a thing at the back of my mind that I am worried and scared about, which may be why I was constantly procrastinating this. But it was about time, and there's a lot of these videos that I have recorded in the background that I do need to get out. I am still incredibly passionate about this, and I hope that you guys don't, like, unsubscribe or something, just simply because the channel is going to expand a little bit. Again, VR videos aren't going anywhere, but I just want to add a little bit to the channel. I mean, look at the thumbnails recently. That's just... I've talked about this before, but I hate that. I hate the way this channel has gone, and I hate the fact that the Quest has basically taken over it, and something needs to happen. And I've talked about this. I might do a whole separate video on that, but either way, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day or night. In case you guys liked it, please leave a like. If you guys disliked it, I guess this button works too, but please tell me why down in the comment section below. In case you guys are not yet part of our community, check out our Discord down below, and check out our Reddit, where I want to see you posting your spice memes. Yes, I know, I haven't drank the coffee. Thank you so much to the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys help me make better content, just overall, you know, allow me to venture off like this from time to time, monetarily wise, and just help me make the content better. So thank you so much for that. And as usual, in case you guys want to be notified about future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.